So I thought maybe I should give just a little update because I made this first video of how to put some insulation with cork against the wall. But now I am a little bit further in the process. I'm not finished yet, but I thought let's show the process that I made so far. Here you see the other side of the wall. So you see people make mistakes here. I did have the line going further in one other plate, but that's okay, it's not that big of a deal. And you see I put the plugs in, so it's these plastic plugs here. So you have normally an unused one that you put in there. I bought 9 centimeters, so normally if this is 5, they're 4 centimeters in the wall. And then when you put this plastic plug in there, because of course if you do it in metal then it's not insulating anymore, then in the end you get this, so the plug is like a normal plug, really attached in the wall. And it's actually just an extra insurance for myself because I feel like the glue is really sticking very well. It's like not coming off or anything. Here near the window I'll have to put 2 centimeters insulation because I don't have the 4 centimeters here. And then here on this side, a friend of mine, she already experimented a bit with putting some clay or lime against it. It's a very thin layer that she put. Mostly I asked her to do it very thin because there it's 2 bolts that go in the wall for the boiler. And then here also I need to put insulation like this. I did redo or take off all the old parts around the window and filled this up with another natural material. It's recycled cotton. And then when I will have it like this for the edge, I will just use the lame or the clay plaster to just make the very typical round corners. But that's another experiment, and I'll gladly my friend to help me with that because I think I will be not the most patient person to do this. I more prefer putting up the plates because then with not that much effort you see the whole wall change. How I closed off the opening between the roof rafters again so I filled it up with insulation, the gap in between, and then this vapor barrier, but now I also used the tape to really close it off properly. It's not the nicest, but it won't be visible afterwards. But it's very important that when you use a vapor barrier that you really close it off everywhere, because contrast would be too big, you know, like if it's very airtight and well insulated and then there is like a little gap where it is not airtight and so cold air could come in, then of course the contrast is bigger because the rest is very well insulated, and then there is more risk to condensation. So condensation in an old house that is not airtight and then natural airflow comes, it won't mold as much as a poorly insulated house with lots of holes in the insulation. So it's very important to look at those details when you're using insulation anyways. I'm glad that I used the cork for the rest because cork is, like I said before, not so sensitive for humidity, and here I will not use a vapor barrier because I will allow it to just breathe. Most of the natural building materials, you can just let them breathe. And that's making it also very interesting to use those materials in older buildings, because here in my house, for example, it would be really hard to install an insulation system and make a mechanical air exchange so that the hot air that is going out will give a little bit of its energy to the new colder air coming in to save energy. But here I'll just work with the natural ventilation, but just this gap. I really wanted to close it off because you could just feel air coming in. It was open like this, and you also noticed the sound. For sound, just a little gap is already enough to hear all the noise from the surroundings. So also that I'm very glad that I solved it this way. And then next step is of course the ceiling. It all started with the ceiling when we discovered this gap, because we took off another ceiling with some MDF or wooden particles pressed to each other. It was up here. You see the old structure for the old roof, and then I put already some new ones. But then of course when wall here, we are like, hey, this is very not airtight and so much air is coming in, so we have to solve this first before we can continue the ceiling. So yeah, next step, ceiling. I will use Fermacell plates, but they're heavy, they're big, there is gonna be glue involved, it's above my head, so I have to work above my head, so I'm really not looking forward to doing the ceiling, but anyways, it will be part of it. And another you'll see is in this corner, we will put a bathtub in a round shape, and it will also function as my shower. And I also will use cork glued to the floor as the floor. So it will be in a bathroom. I will use cork, so that means that the cork will have to be treated afterwards. But that's also really something that I'm really looking forward to see how this will work out. So if you're interested in using natural building materials within an old 19th century, this part is even 19th century, for the first part is 20th century, this part is 19th century old building, then you definitely should keep watching the little videos that I will make soon or late. I don't know. I don't really rush myself. I don't really like to stick to a planning, and I take it day by day, like most people should do, to have more rest in themselves. If you feel like your body needs to rest, but you have so many things on the planning, then you still just have to listen to your body and take a break. So with that, I conclude this video, and see you in the next video.